What if
If you like the video,
the mighty Megalodon shark never went extinct? Imagine right now you're chilling on a beach sipping your favorite drink when suddenly, splash! Out in the distance, something massive breaks the surface. Not a boat, not a whale. It's something far, far scarier. It's Megalodon, the colossal, monstrous, living legend of the deep. Picture this: Megalodon, a beast bigger than a bus with teeth as long as a human arm. This monster was over 60 feet long, weighing up to 100 tons, the size of a T-Rex but living in the ocean. And now, instead of fossils, we've got the real deal lurking in our waters. So, what would life be like with a living Megalodon cruising around in the ocean? Let's dive into the jaw-dropping possibilities. The ocean, a no-go zone for humans? First things first, forget about your ocean vacations. Swimming, surfing, snorkeling, nope, not with Megalodon out there. A shark that big would have one heck of an appetite, and humans, we'd be a bite-sized snack for it. Imagine booking a beach resort and reading the sign, "Swim at your own risk. Megalodon sightings expected." Not exactly the relaxing trip you were hoping for, huh? And let's talk about boats, small boats, big boats, yachts. Megalodon wouldn't care. If it sees something moving on the surface, it might just mistake it for prey and take a nice big chomp. Ships could become its personal chew toys, and with a bite force estimated at 40,000 pounds, Megalodon could literally snap a boat in half with one bite. Even the mighty great white would seem like a guppy next to this powerhouse. Imagine the headlines: Meg strikes again. Another boat down. People would be too terrified to set sail. Fishing? Nope, not with Meg in town. Our fishing industry? Well, let's just say it would go through a drastic change. Every fisherman, every fishing boat would be on high alert for Megalodon sightings. That single shark could devour entire schools of fish in a matter of minutes. Fishermen would have to work extra hard to catch anything without attracting a Meg-sized dinner guest. And can you imagine seeing a giant fin following your fishing boat? Heart attack level, maximum. Countries would probably declare certain ocean areas Megalodon zones, restricted areas where no one's allowed to fish, swim, or sail. Megalodon Watch would be a thing on every coastal news channel. People would be glued to their TVs and phones to see where the Megalodon had been spotted last, hoping it's not anywhere near them. Tourism redefined, Megalodon safaris. But here's a fun twist. What if some adventurous folks actually wanted to see Megalodon? Picture Megalodon safaris, where you can get on a heavily reinforced boat with thick metal walls just to catch a glimpse of the monster shark from a safe distance. See the Megalodon up close, if you dare. Tourists would pay big bucks for that thrill. It would be like going on a safari, but with 1,000 times more adrenaline. Special Megalodon-proof boats would be designed with thick bulletproof glass, reinforced steel hulls, and sonar trackers to locate the massive shark before it could locate them. Sure, it would be terrifying, but it would also be a billion-dollar business. People would come from all over the world just to snap a selfie with the ultimate predator. From a very, very safe distance, of course. Marine life, Megalodon's ultimate buffet. Now, let's talk about the ocean's food chain. Megalodon was the apex predator, meaning it was at the very top. If it still roamed our seas, it would probably feast on dolphins, seals, smaller sharks, and pretty much any big creature that dared to swim in its territory. It'd be like a vacuum cleaner of the sea, sucking up everything in its path. Whales, which are currently the biggest creatures in the ocean, would be on the run. They'd have to avoid Megalodon's hunting grounds, creating something like a marine version of no man's land. Imagine entire pods of whales migrating miles out of their way just to avoid a Megalodon-infested area. In fact, with a predator this big, the entire ecosystem might shift, as smaller predators like orcas and sharks would be pushed out of their hunting grounds, forced to adapt to new Meg-free zones. How would Megalodon change science and discovery? Scientists would have a field day. Just imagine the global fascination with a creature that massive still living in the ocean. Researchers, paleontologists, and marine biologists would all be scrambling for the chance to study it, from a safe distance, of course. Megalodon tracking stations would pop up along every coast to monitor the shark's movements, hoping to learn about its habits, diet, and behavior. Special submarines with super thick windows would be deployed just to capture footage of the elusive creature in its natural habitat. Schools would teach kids about Megalodon as a real current species rather than an ancient fossil, making oceanography one of the coolest fields to study. People would constantly be tuning in to Megalodon cams, live feeds showing the massive shark swimming in its deep, mysterious world. How about Hollywood? The movie frenzy begins. You know Hollywood wouldn't miss out on this. Imagine the movies. Jaws would look like a cute fish story compared to the blockbusters inspired by Megalodon. Movies like The Meg would be reboots based on real events. Producers would be lining up to capture the true terror of a living, breathing Megalodon on film. Real footage of the shark might even be used in some movies. Imagine the suspense, the drama, the real-life Megalodon strikes again moments on the big screen and TV shows. Megalodon reality series, 24/7 Megalodon tracking channels, documentaries, you name it. There would be an endless supply of content dedicated to this one animal, feeding humanity's fascination and fear of the great ancient predator. Beach vacations? Forget about it. If you thought sharks were a problem before, imagine the panic now. Beachfront resorts would have to set up massive barriers, probably electrified, to keep Megalodon out. Coast guards would be on constant high alert. Swimmers would be limited to very shallow waters, and lifeguards would have sonar systems to detect any unusual movements. Sunbathing by the ocean would become less of a carefree activity and more of a calculated risk. You'd probably think twice about swimming out past your knees. Every beach would have giant Megalodon warning signs, and before you even stepped foot in the water, you'd be forced to sign a waiver acknowledging the potential risks of swimming in Megalodon territory. Beach vacations would go from relaxation to survival mode. Welcome to Shark Cove Resort. Beware of Meg. Not exactly the slogan you'd want on your brochure, huh? Could humans coexist with Megalodon? The real question is, could we adapt to life with this beast, or would we try to hunt it down? There's a chance some governments might view Megalodon as too much of a threat, especially after a few too close for comfort encounters with humans. There could be attempts to track it, tag it, and maybe even capture it. But remember, this is a shark like no other. Catching a Megalodon would be like trying to catch lightning in a bottle. One flick of its tail and any cage or net would likely be torn to shreds. Or maybe, just maybe, we'd try to learn from it, coexisting with this ancient predator while keeping a safe distance. After all, Megalodon is a piece of history, a living relic from a time when dinosaurs still roamed the earth. The thought of sharing the ocean with such a creature might make us a little more cautious, but it could also inspire awe and respect for the mysteries of the natural world. Final thought. Could you handle a world with Megalodon? So, here's the big question. Could you handle it? Would you want to live in a world where Megalodon roams the seas, an ever-present reminder of nature's power? Imagine knowing that somewhere out there, in the dark, endless ocean, lurks the most fearsome predator ever known. Could you feel safe lounging on the beach, knowing a shark the size of a school bus could be just beneath the surface? One thing's for sure. If Megalodon had never gone extinct, our relationship with the ocean would be a whole lot different. The beach wouldn't be our playground. It'd be Megalodon's hunting ground. If you really enjoyed the video, then like, share, and subscribe the channel for more.